Yeah. Everyone rise, please. In the presence of the flag of our country, emblem of the Constitution, and remembering the principles for which it stands, Department 101 of the Superior Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph P. Brannigan, Judge presiding. Please be seated. Come to order.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Your Honor, first item on the calendar is item number 13, Ernest in custody, court holding B.
All right, I'll ask the attorneys to put their appearances on the record, starting with the people, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Leonard Turn on behalf of the people.
Attorney.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Grappelon for the people.
Mr. Grappelon.
And John O'Connell of the Public Defender's Office on behalf of Mr. Ernst.
All right. Mr. O'Connell, we're here for an arraignment, and we'll have you begin, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. We have received a copy of the complaint. Your Honor, his true name and date of birth to appear on it. We have gone over the charges and the potential penalties with Mr. Ernst. We waive further reading of the complaint. He enters not guilty pleas to all the charges, denials to all the allegations, and he asked for appointment of the Public Defender's Office, and he has been advised of his constitutional rights.
All right. Do you have the form, sir? Did you sign the form?
He has signed the form, and I'll present that to the court.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Ernst. Sir, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf to the 5-count complaint that's been filed against you. Deny any and all allegations that appear. Show that your true name and date of birth appear on the complaint. Also show that you've been fully advised of your constitutional rights and have signed the form. We will appoint counsel to represent you, and we are going to give you further court dates in just a moment. Please listen to your dates. You're ordered back to court on the dates that we give you. On the issue of bail, Mr. Trent?
Your Honor, we're asking for no bail. On April 27th at approximately 11:15 a.m., the defendant drove to the Chabad of Poway and parked his vehicle nearby. Passover services were being held with approximately 30 individuals in attendance. The exact number is still being determined by investigators. Armed with a semi-automatic rifle and 5 additional 10-round magazines on his tactical vest, the defendant entered the synagogue, where he encountered 60-year-old Lori Kay in the foyer. Ms. Kay, who was Jewish, was at the synagogue to pray for her deceased mother. The defendant shot her twice as she turned to flee, killing her. Rabbi Goldstein was in the immediate area, and the defendant shot him, striking him in the hands. Rabbi Goldstein lost a finger and sustained injuries to both of his hands. The defendant turned his rifle towards one of the rooms full of congregation members and fired several additional rounds. Almog Peretz, A-L-M-O-G-P-E-R-E-T-Z, was struck in the leg by shrapnel from one of the rifle bullets. An 8-year-old girl was also struck in the leg by shrapnel from one of the defendant's bullets. The evidence indicated that the defendant fired 8 to 10 rounds before the rifle appeared to jam or malfunction, and the defendant was unable to clear the weapon. A total of 10 expended rifle casings were later recovered from the synagogue scene. The defendant walked out of the synagogue and back towards his car. A member of the congregation ran after the defendant, along with another member who was an off-duty Border Patrol agent. The off-duty agent fired several rounds at the defendant, striking the defendant's vehicle once. The defendant made a U-turn and fled the area. This entire incident at the synagogue was captured on surveillance video. At approximately 11:30 a.m., the defendant called 911 and reported shooting at the synagogue. He gave his location to the dispatcher and said that he was armed. An officer with the San Diego Police Department found the defendant at 17051 West Bernardo Drive, approximately 2 miles away, and took him into custody several minutes later. The defendant was arrested wearing a tactical vest capable of holding rifle magazines. A rifle, 5 loaded magazines, and a tactical helmet were found inside of his car. A total of 50 unfired bullets were found in those magazines. A manifesto claimed to have been written by the defendant espousing hatred towards Jewish people was found posted online. on the internet. In the manifesto, the defendant expressed his intent to send Jews to hell. In the manifesto, the defendant also admitted to setting fire to the Dar ul Arqam Mosque in Escondido on March 24th, 2019. In that case, portions of the mosque's exterior wall were charred after the defendant used gasoline as an accelerant and scrawled references to the New Zealand shooter. The intentional killing because of a person's religion is a special circumstance eligible for life without parole or death. Penal Code Section 1270.5 provides that when a defendant is charged with an offense punishable by death, it precludes a defendant from being admitted to bail when the proof of his guilt is evident or the presumption thereof great. The determination to seek death will be made by the district attorney at a later time in accordance with the law and with protocols. At this point, the people are respectfully requesting the court set no bail in light of Penal Code Section 1270.5.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trim. Mr. O'Connell?
Your Honor, we'll submit on the issue of bail.
All right. Based on the charges and allegations contained in the complaint, as well as the background information provided to me by the prosecutor, I'm going to make the finding that Mr. Ernst is an obvious and extraordinary risk to public safety and to the community, and therefore he's going to be remanded and held without bail. So we will set future court dates.
Is there be a time waiver, or is it going to be due course?
Your Honor, there will be a time waiver because we're asking for a status and then a preliminary hearing. I think we're setting in July, so it'll be outside the time
All
period.
right, Mr. O'Connell, I'll take a personal time waiver from the client. You've spoken to him about that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you have the right to have your preliminary hearing set within a statutory time period, but you can waive that right and allow us to set it further out. Do you give up that right? Yes? Yes. All right. We'll accept the time waiver, set time waiver dates.
Status conference is set for May 30, 2019 at 1:30 in Department 102. Preliminary examination is set for July 8, 2019 at 8:30 a.m. in Department 102.
It's a one-day time estimate. I did submit to counsel the body worn camera protective order. I don't know if the court signed it.
I have.
Okay.
I have. And anything further on behalf of the people, Mr. Train?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Connell?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Ernst. We'll be in recess.